Hello friends, I am Bhumika Pandey and today I will tell you class 10th chemistry chapter number 2 and the name of chapter is acid, bases and salts. In this chapter we will study about acids, bases and salts. In this video we will study acid and bases and their properties. First we will discuss acid. Now what is acid? Acid are those substances which are sour in taste, and acid can dissolve metal, may burn our skin and clothes, and acid have a pH value less than 7. So I am writing here the definition of acid. Acid, a substance which can dissolve metal, can burn our skin and clothes. Acids are sour in taste, and acid have a pH value less than 7. This is the definition of acids, a substance which can dissolve metal. Acids are very harmful and very effective. They can dissolve metals, they can burn our skins and clothes. Acids are sour in taste and acids have a pH value less than 7. Now, acids can change the color of blue litmus. Acid can change the color of blue litmus to red. So the acids can change the color of blue litmus to red. For example of acid, lemon, tomato, vinegar, these all contain acids. Means everything what you ever taste and which is sour in taste, we can say that acid is present. Now we will see the definition of bases. Now acids are sour in taste, bases are bitter in taste, bases are soapy in touch, and bases have a pH value more than 7 and less than 14. We can write a definition of bases. Bases are substances which are bitter in taste, feel soapy in touch, bases have a pH value more than 7 and less than 14. This is the definition of bases. Bases are those substances which are bitter in taste, and though bases are soapy in touch. For example, soap contains bases, and when you touch soap it is soapy, means it is very soft. Now bases have a pH value more than 7 but less than 14. So the acid have a pH value less than 7 and bases have pH value more than 7 and less than 14. Now acids can change the color of blue litmus to red, but bases can change the color of red litmus to blue. This is the difference between acid and bases. Now we will discuss the properties of acid. properties of acid. Now the first property which we can write as acids are sour in taste. Acids are sour in taste. Acids release H positive ion in water. If you will put an acid into the water, it will release hydrogen positive ions. And the third property which we can write is acids have pH value less than 7. So these are the properties of acids. Now acids are of two types, means acids can be strong and acids can be weak. So first, strong acids. Now what will be the strong acids? Strong acids will be hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, and etc. And what are the weak acids? Weak acids will be lactic acid, oxalic acid, and lactic acid. So the strong acids will be hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acids, and the weak acids will be lactic acid, which are present in sour substances like lemon, orange, and etc. and lactic acid and oxalic acids. Now we will see what are the properties of bases. So now we will discuss the properties of bases. Properties of bases. Bases are those substances which are bitter in taste, bases feel soapy in touch, and bases have a pH value more than 7 and less than 14. First property of bases. Bases are bitter in taste, feel soapy in touch, release OH negative ion in water, and bases have a pH value. More than 7 and less than 14. These are properties of bases. When bases will be put in a water solution, bases will give you hydroxide negative ions. These are properties of bases. Now strong bases. Strong bases will be sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, and calcium hydroxide. So these are strong acids, means which will be very much bitter. Now we will discuss weak bases. So weak bases will be NH4OH, means ammonium hydroxide. So this is bitter in taste and this will be weak bases. Now these are basis properties and those were acid properties. Now what are the types of acid? There are mainly two types of acid. First, there are two types of acid. The two types of acid are concentrated acid concentrated acid and dilute acid. Dilute acid. Concentrated acid and dilute acid are the two types of acids. Concentrated acids are those type of acid in which the amount of acid is very high and the amount of water is very less. And dilute acids are those types of acid in which the amount of water will be very high and the amount of acid will be less. We can also say that if we will add water to concentrated acid, they will become dilute acid. And if we will add acid to dilute acid, it will become a concentrated acid. Now, we have studied bases. What are alkali? Alkalis are those bases which can dissolve into water. So, alkali definition: the bases which can dissolve in water are called alkali. Those bases which can dissolve into water is called as alkali. Now we will discuss what are the indicators. Now we will discuss indicators. This is a main issue. What are indicators? Indicators are those things by which we can determine that this is an acid, this is an basis. On the basis of indicators, you will say that we can also detect it by tasting. If it will be sour, then we can say that it is acid, and it will be bitter, then we can say that it is basis. But in science, there are some chemicals which are harmful for our body. We can't taste them. For testing those things, indicators are made. There are three types of indicators. Now, indicators can be on the basis of color, on the basis of smell. First type of indicator is natural indicator. Natural indicator. The second type of indicator is synthesis indicator. Synthesis indicator. And the third type of the indicator is olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators. As their names are only suggestive. Now, the first type is natural indicators. Natural is related to nature. Those things which are found in nature and used as indicators are called as natural indicators. The second is synthesis indicators. Synthesis indicators are those things which are made up of chemicals. Those are called as synthesis. It is olfactory indicators. So olfactory indicators are showing us smell. Those things which we can detect by smell are called as olfactory indicators. Now we can take two examples of both. For natural indicators, I am taking for natural indicators I can take turmeric and litmus. Litmus and turmeric. Now, if I will take litmus and turmeric, and the synthesis indicators, I can take methane orange, olfactory indicators, vanilla essence, and clove oil. If I will litmus, so we have discussed in acid and bases only. Litmus will change the color of blue to red when it will become in the presence of acid, and red to blue when it will be coming to, in the contract of bases. And turmeric. Turmeric is also an natural indicator. If you will mix acid in turmeric, then the turmeric will show no change in its color. Its color will remain same. And if you will mix bases in turmeric, it will show you red color. This is the effects of natural indicators. Now, if we will discuss methane orange, this is just opposite to turmeric. In turmeric, acid is making yellow and bases are red. But if you will put acid in methane orange, it will form into red color. Acid in methane orange will form into red and bases in methane orange will form into yellow. These are synthesis indicators which we can detect with the help of chemicals. And if I will take two examples of olfactory indicators, vanilla essence and clove oil. Clove oil means long ka tel. If I will put acid in vanilla essence, its smell will increase very much high. So acid के contract में it will give you very high smell. But if it will come in the contract of bases, it will give you no smell. This is the effect of acid and bases in the vanilla essence. And if I will mix acid and clove oil, it will give you very much high smell. But if I will mix bases and clove oil, then it will give you low smell. So it will give you low smell, not smell not. So now we have discussed indicators also, and we have discussed the types of acid and bases also. Now the acids which I have tell you, lactic acid, oxalic acid and lactic acid. So lactic acid is known as CH3COOH. This is lactic acid. Lactic acid. And the second which I have tell you, oxalic acid. Oxalic acid. Oxalic acid is C2H2 and O4. And the last is citric acid. We can take citric acid. If I will take citric acid, its chemical formula is C6H8 and O7. So these are three weak acids. Now we have discussed our bases also, acids also, and indicators also. In the next video, we will see the chemical properties of acids and bases. Thank you.